the title of her speech. Tanya Eaton grew up in a small Alaskan village. She moved away as a teenager, but her younger sister stayed. Making assumptions, taking things for granted, wishing things could be different. All the while, the village tree was right there where it was meant to be, providing nourishing what trees do, silently and beautifully. Then, one day, it was uprooted. Find out how Tanya came to realize the magnificence of a simple life well lived. Tanya Eaton.
Woo! Go, Tanya.
I couldn't sleep. Something terrible was about to happen. I questioned God about it, like I had so many times before, but I didn't expect an answer. Only on this night, I felt the answer come to me. I had an epiphany, a flash of insight that definitely did not come from my own mind. With this new understanding, I drifted off to sleep. The next morning, I was jolted awake. Judging by my mom's tears, it finally happened. My sister Karen lost her 2-year battle with cancer. A million thoughts raced through my mind. All the things I could have said. All the things I could have done. My mind went back to my last day in Metlakatla. I tried my best not to tell anyone the date and time that I was leaving. But true to character, my cousin Evie found out, and she was there to send me off, along with her 2 daughters, Danielle and Darcel, who were 7 and 5 years old. Now, Danielle and Darcel were a big reason why I almost stayed in Metlakatla forever. And I'm convinced they're a big reason why my sister did stay. Me and Carrie adored these 2 girls. To say we were close is like an understatement. Their 2 personalities complement each other. Danielle is loud and outspoken, she's the rebel, while Darcel is so soft-spoken, she earned the nickname Mouse. I'm convinced that's why me and Carrie felt we knew them so well. It was like me and my sister all over again. My cousin Evie, their mother, agrees. Carrie left for college, but between her junior and senior years, she shocked us all by dropping out and marrying a gentle giant named Michael. Danielle tells me that her and Darcel were upset. They felt Michael would be taking Carrie away from them. Keep in mind they were only young children at the time. Eventually they would grow to love Mike as a part of the family like the rest of us did. A few years into their marriage, it became clear Carrie and Mike weren't going to be able to have their own kids. This broke my heart because I knew how Carrie had such a special way with kids. She expected the best, and people rise or fall according to your expectations. For example, she took a job in the special education department, and I have stories of how she was able to reach difficult kids who didn't respond to anyone else. That's how gifted she was. I talked with her on the phone, and she would just gush excitedly about her nieces, Janelle and Jennifer, who thought of her as a second mom. And I'd hear this, and she would be laughing so hard she couldn't even talk. But I would only assume this made her want her own kids even more. The sympathy pain that I had stayed with me. So one day I brought it up to her. I told her how sorry I was that she couldn't have her own kids. Her answer surprised me. Oh, we tried for a few years, but we're okay with not having kids. All this time I was carrying this burden, and she wasn't even bothered by it. should accept it. As these thoughts were racing through my mind, I was brought back to the present day by the familiar sound of Facebook notifications. On the morning of her death, my Facebook feed was going crazy. I loathe Facebook condolences. Yet something compelled me to go to her page. What I saw blew my mind. Post after post, people were saying the same things. She was like my mother figure. She was like my mom. She was always so patient and understanding. My cousin Vanessa said, whenever she used my middle name, I knew it was time to rethink my actions. Danielle, now grown in with her own children, told us about how Carrie was a comfort to her during one of the worst times of her life, while she was fighting to regain custody of her only son in Russia. My sister was a mother figure to more people than I will probably ever know. We're talking about hundreds of posts, all from a tiny village. It was like everyone she knew were the roots, and when she died, the tree was uprooted. As a pillar in her community, she had the impact of someone twice her age. I continued scrolling, and the thought struck me. If she would have had kids, things might have been different. When you're a parent, your child becomes your whole life for at least 2 decades. Not having kids allowed Carrie to appreciate the children in her community even more. And practically speaking, she simply had more time to devote to them. It takes a village to raise a child, and Carrie rose to the challenge, most likely unconsciously. They say a setback is like a slingshot. The further you're set back, the farther you can go. Carrie Guthrie did not have biological children, but don't call her childless. There are countless, precious individuals who are still benefiting from her wisdom, are changed forever from her encouragement, and are paying it forward, making her circle of influence complete. The epiphany that I had while lying in bed that night: the amount of time we spend on earth is not important. It's what we do with the time we're given.